On today's Family Focus, it happens to every parent. Your child wakes up with a cough, a rash, or pink eye, and now you're forced to figure out if you should send them to school or daycare or keep them at home. With some tips on how to decide is our own Dr. Mallika Marshall. Doctor, always nice to see you.
Good to see you too, Liam.
And of course, it's not always convenient for parents to keep the kids at home.
It's almost never convenient, right? Because a lot of parents work, a lot of people don't have backup daycare, and so now you've got the sick child and you're trying to figure out, can I just shuttle them off to school or to daycare, or do I have to find someone to stay home with them?
And you're trying to take into account the other parents and making sure they're not going to make the other kids sick.
Right.
So let's first talk about when you should keep your kid at home.
Okay, so first of all, if your child just looks like they're not really going to be able to focus or pay attention in school, it probably is time for them to stay home. But some other good guidelines are if he or she has a fever, generally over 101 degrees or so, and you only want to return them back to school or daycare if they are fever-free, off fever-reducing medications like ibuprofen and Tylenol. If your child has strep throat, they need to be on antibiotics for at least 24 hours. If your child has diarrhea such that they're having accidents or having to run to the bathroom, or your child's in a diaper and there's spillage, you should keep them home.
That won't work at school.
That will not work at school. Vomiting, so recurrent vomiting. If they're coughing and they vomit because they've had a coughing spell, not a big deal. But if they are coughing more than once, you should send them, keep them home. Mouth sores, which can be very contagious. A rash associated with a fever, and any sort of weeping skin sores. Those are like
What is that?
kind of sores that are oozing.
Oh, I've never heard that
Something
term,
that you can't cover.
nor do I ever want to hear it again.
Right.
So let's talk about some of the times when it is okay to let your child go out into the world, and we start with the common cold.
Common cold, yes. If your child just has a runny nose and a cough and is otherwise well, doesn't have a high fever, then it's fine to send them to school. Same thing with pink eye. You know, a lot of people get all excited about pink eye or conjunctivitis. There are multiple causes of conjunctivitis. There's allergic conjunctivitis, but a lot of them are actually viral, caused by cold viruses. So instead of having to keep your child at home, if your child is otherwise well, it's not having eye pain, it's not bothering them, it's probably fine to send them to school.
What about the dreaded head lice?
Head lice. So, you know, most people might pick it up at school. They don't have to come out of school right away, so you shouldn't get a call saying, come get your kid, because your kid has lice. But they do need to have a treatment that evening before you send them to school the next day.
And that's the shampoo with the shower cap, that whole situation?
Yes, exactly.
Dr. Mallika Marshall, thank you as always. And for more of your Family Focus segments, keep it right here on CBSBoston.com.